Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another video. Earlier today, the Devils put out a statement saying that Corey Crawford was going to take an indefinite leave of absence from the team due to personal reasons. While the reasons as to why he's doing this are unknown, we shouldn't speculate as to why. Until Corey decides he wants to announce why he's leaving, fans should leave him to his privacy and hope everything is well so that he can come back soon. With that said, the Devils now have to deal with this from a hockey's perspective. While this is unfortunate and it stinks for Corey that he's going to miss the team, and we wish him nothing but the best, the Devils now have to figure out who their second goalie is going to be and the guy that's going to play a big chunk of time for this team. Everyone expected Crawford to play a lot of games this year. So being that he's gone, the Devils now need a replacement to try and figure out who this guy is going to be. And I think there's a few ways they can go about this. And I think the easiest one is probably looking within the organization. This past offseason, not only did the Devils sign Corey Crawford, but they also signed now Stanley Cup champion Scott Wedgwood to the roster, who spent earlier in his career in a Devils uniform. He was anticipated to be the Devils' third goalie, being on the taxi squad and maybe playing some games for Binghamton, but now he's automatically bumped up into that backup goalie role. Oh, rest in peace to Mackenzie Blackwood if Scott Wedgwood is the backup. The Devils also have guys like Jill Sen and Evan Cormier, but I think they're going to leave them in Binghamton or Newark, whatever you want to call it, so that they can develop. Cormier is a little older, but Sen, I think, is like 22. So he still has some room to develop a little bit. Either of those guys might get called up in an emergency reason for if Blackwood or Wedgwood gets hurt for whatever reason. I think that's the only time they're going to bring them up. But other than that, I think they're just going to stay in the AHL. And if they have to play for maybe a game or two or few games, I think that's probably worst case scenario. Who am I kidding? How does it get worse than having your 1B goalie just disappear and leave before the season even begins? Having your two best offensive players not in camp. That's pretty bad too. I think this is the most likely outcome out of all the solutions, but you never know with Tommy Fitz. The next option they could utilize is free agency. There are really, and I mean really, slim pickings when it comes to free agent goaltenders. Just looking on the website SpotTrack that counts all the contracts and stuff like that, they have guys like Corey Schneider and Craig Anderson who are on pro tryouts, so neither of them are really options. Schneider coming back to the Devils 3 months after we bought him out is never going to happen. Take that thought, put it in a bag, tie it up, rent a boat, drive out into the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and throw it overboard with a very heavy anchor attached to it. Because thoughts like that are where they belong. Anyway, sorry for that tangent. It's not that I hate Schneider. I don't. He was really good for a couple of years here, but Mirko Mueller making the Hall of Fame is more likely to happen than Corey Schneider coming back to this team now. Moving on, there are a couple free agents that are available, but I want absolutely nothing to do with them. Guys like Jimmy Howard, Mike Condon, Garrett Sparks, and J.S. Berube. That guy wasn't even good on the Islanders or the Blackhawks. Now here, ladies and gentlemen, is the junkyard of washed-up goalies. Don't touch them, or else you're going to be an automatic lottery team. Let's move along to the Yager Shrine, shall we? The last option is looking for a trade. I don't really think this is realistic, but like I said, you never know. After examining everyone's goalie depth charts, there aren't really teams that have the capability of dishing out goaltenders. I used to think Arizona was a good place to go if you needed a goalie because they had Kemper, Ronta, and a couple of young guys in Aiden Hill and Ivan Prosvetov. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but both are going to be in Tucson, the Tucson Roadrunners, and probably play for the AHL team of the Coyotes. I don't think they would really be willing to part with either of those guys unless they got a pretty penny, so I'm just not including them in this. Besides, the Devils just need a Band-Aid for however long Crawford is going to be out. And he is under contract for 2 years, so that means he's going to be on the team next year, maybe. But even still, it gets better with Nico Dawes being eligible to play in the AHL, and hopefully Sen/Cormier develops a little bit where they can actually play in the NHL if need be next year, or just be usable in that matter. Well, if expectations were low for this team a couple of weeks ago, it seems they just keep getting lower day after day, especially with Nico and Brad looking like they're going to miss the first few games, and now Crawford. This team is on track to be a lottery team again, and it stinks. But hopefully, only another year or two of this, and things will finally turn our way. With that said, that'll do it for this video. So thank you if you decided to stay the whole time. Not only should you like and subscribe, you should comment for what you thought of the video, also stuff you want to see in the future. With that said, I'll talk to you guys later in the next video. Let's go Devils. Sean out.